Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. I'm Becky.
And I'm Chloe.
And this is another edition of Book Club Best Boys and Girls. So, we are here today after our year-long Throne of Glass book club. So we are here to rank the characters of the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. And I'm just gonna say right now, we're gonna have some unpopular opinions going around because, I mean, this is a very well-loved series. I like this series a lot. It was my book club pick, but I have some opinions that the public do not agree with, and Chloe, did not like the book series at all, so...
Here's my proposal, because one, I did not enjoy this book in any way, and I have been trying to forget about these characters and never think about them again. So Becky is going to tell me what character, and I'm going to give you guys my immediate gut reaction where I would put them on a tier. Maybe explain myself as much as I feel like. And then, you know, Becky, you can put them where you actually want to put them since you actually care about the series. So that's how it's going to go.
Okay, so the final tier will be my opinions, actually, but we get to hear Chloe's thoughts.
Yeah.
Alright, so the first character on our list is, of course, Aelin.
F. F or D, I guess. Whatever the lowest option. Have never disliked a protagonist more in a book. Just, I don't know, every personality trait is just awful, and I feel like it's supposed to be like cute and charming, but it doesn't come across cute and charming to me. Like, I just think she's so annoying. I feel like her like, I don't know if personality is the word, like motivations, it just changes all the time. Like, oh, first she's like, I hate my fae form, and then I love my fae form. No, now I love my human form, and like, I don't want to be the queen. Actually, I do want to be the queen. No, actually, I don't want to be the queen. Like, what? Just, there's no like linear trajectory. It's just like whatever the author feels like. There's no like clear-cut character development. She's still doing the same shitty things that she was doing in the beginning. Like, I hate how she, one, is good at everything. Like, she has every skill known to man. And two, when she does stuff like, you know, doesn't tell other people the plan and does, like, random risky things, for the most part, it always ends up working out. And it's like, oh yeah, she's just the best. She's just so great. Everything she does is right. Nothing she does is wrong. That's kind of like how, you know, the narrative sets it. Like, you know, for example, that part where maybe it was like the assassin people, she didn't tell them we're coming, and Aedion was, you know, yelling at her like, you said you were going to get us an army and you didn't, and, you know, maybe he was a little mean about it, but at that part I was like, yes, I'm glad someone is actually calling her out. Maybe she'll have to think about this. No, then she was like, oh look, actually these people are coming, and then the way the book presents it is like, she was right, he was wrong, he's a douchebag, everything she does is right. That could have been a point of, like, character development. Like, maybe she was like, oh, I just don't trust other people. I've had to be on my own for so long that this is the way. And then she learned to actually trust her friends and involve them in the planning, which, I mean, I guess she kind of did, like, a little bit when she was like, let's vote on what we want to do. But she didn't even listen to their vote. She just did whatever she wanted to do anyway. But, like, that didn't happen. You know, like, that wasn't... The story just presents it as like she's just right all the time because she's so smart and so clever, and she's the world's best assassin, and she's the magical fairy that has the most powerful magic ever, and she didn't even have to give up her magic. She still has it a little bit because we wouldn't want her to give up her magic. So I know I'm complaining about like things about the story with her, but I feel like they're kind of connected, and it's why she pisses me off so much as a character. So just the lowest of the low. Like, I can't. I just can't.
I agree sometimes that, like, I mean, it really annoys me so much when she doesn't tell anyone anything and she just does whatever, and I don't know, like, that's the thing that annoys me the most, I think, but I would still probably put her in, like, C, because, like, there are moments where I do like her, you know, I generally like her in the first book, doing a whole lot of like intense things. She's just kind of like living in the first book, and like, I don't know, her personality is not as annoying in those regards, I think, in the beginning. And I do feel sorry for her in like some instances. You know, I have some sympathy for what she goes through in certain points. So I mean, she's not like my top favorite character. Overall, I don't hate her. I mean, I don't like when she's mean to Chaol, which we're gonna get into later. You know, things that you said where it's like, oh, she can never be held responsible for like any of her actions, and like everything is fine and everyone just like lets her do whatever. And
anytime that a character like challenges her in the book, like Aedion or that old man, I forgot his name, the old man that was really bitchy. And like, again, yeah, he's kind of mean about it, but he has valid points. But the book just kind of presents it as, look at this jerk, they're such a jerk, they don't believe in her. We can't have any like criticism, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like I feel like there's like a couple of like very minor moments of her like thinking about what she has done in a way that, you know, is
but
is
she
different,
just goes back to doing it.
Right, but I feel like most of the time she doesn't really change her actions based on those kinds of moments. But, you know, she's not the worst, so I put her in C. Next is Chaol.
Well, if it was me, I would put him in B, because he's fine. That's my thought. I'll let Becky go off now.
All right. First of all, let me just take off my jacket so you can see the extent of my devotion to this man. There we go. There we go. That's better. You know, you can't see very well, but now you know how this is gonna go.
It just has his name there. It's fine.
All right. Chaol is my favorite character in this whole series. I mean, I've loved Chaol from the very beginning, okay? Like, I liked his, you know, generally overly serious, annoyed at everything demeanor that he's got going on in the beginning. You know, he's very deadpan and sarcastic in those first couple books. You know, he's like, his life is getting thrown around by her chaotic, you know, whatever she's doing, and it's just kind of, you know, I enjoyed that dynamic a lot in the first couple books. So, you know, I think he's like, you know, a generally good, supportive, you know, kind of chivalrous character trying to do the right thing. But in general, I feel like he's just such a good character because he like actually questions his loyalties and makes generally good decisions to change and do things differently and do what's right. Like, you can tell me all day long that he's a horrible person for not telling Aelin about Nehemia being in danger, or that he treated her badly for being a fae, and I will simply tell you every time that you are wrong, because like, he is extremely loyal to the people that he cares about. I think the rate at which he reconsiders his loyalty to the king and decides to take action for the good of the world is actually like very fast, okay? He actually like starts looking into those things in the second book after Nehemia dies. Everything he's doing in the third book when he's like interacting with Aedion, like, is taking action to help people. And then at the end of that book, he officially fully throws the captain of the guard status away and turns full rebel. And that's the exact same pace that Aelin takes to figure out her shit and stop pretending to be Selena and actually commit to being a rebel. So like, don't tell me for a second that Chaol took too long wavering on what to do. So personally, I love and respect him for choosing the right path and working with the rebels and being one of the only people who's like straight up like getting shit done in this book. Like, he is a human being who's allowed to take time to consider the right path he wants to take, that he's been, you know, ingrained in him since childhood. He's allowed to want to protect Adarlan and be loyal to Selena at the same time, and like take time to figure out how best to do that. And just the fact that he is so willing to reconsider these different viewpoints and put effort into changing like what he's doing is a good character trait. And I feel like that character trajectory and that growth only continues throughout the fourth book and then into the sixth book. And then, like, more specifically in the sixth book, the growth that he has with regards to his injury and accepting being disabled and needing the wheelchair occasionally and learning that that lifestyle is not limiting him. Like, that is a great character arc too, and shows how reasonable and open to change his personality and character is. Okay, but I also have to comment on people saying that he treated her so badly when he found out that she was a fae and blah blah blah, all this dumb shit that doesn't even make sense. Like, okay, listen up, people. He did not once ever say that he found her magic disgusting or horrible or anything, as even the characters in the book like to claim. Okay, that's not a thing that happened. He has done nothing but try to help them live with their magic. And Dorian and Aelin both have multiple instances of themselves thinking about how they're scared of their magic or they hate their magic. So why is it not okay for Chaol to also be concerned and afraid of that? Like, it's so hypocritical of everyone. The claims that he is so disgusted by her magic or her fae form are simply untrue, okay? Do you know what his reaction was in that scene? It was, quote, a mixture of horror and awe. Not disgusted, not repulsed, not just horrified, horror and awe together. So do you understand what those words mean? It means that he was, yes, scared, concerned, unsettled, shocked, but also amazed, awestruck, in wonder, all of which are perfectly reasonable feelings when your girlfriend turns into a fairy creature and starts shooting fire at another creature while inside an interdimensional hell portal, okay? Chaol is 100% willing to leave his post as captain and leave Adarlan to be with her before anything ever happened. And he still was willing to do that even after he found out she was fae. I absolutely hate when people throw out the line or obsess over the line where it says, you can't pick and choose which parts of her to love, because he didn't. He literally said, I don't care which you are, I still love you. He says multiple times that he doesn't care that she's fae and that he still loves her after finding that out. So literally, what are people talking about when they say that he doesn't? Like, I truly don't understand. Like, did you read the books? Like, are you talking about in book 4 when he says she's dangerous and unpredictable and doesn't trust her to not destroy his city when she does nothing but prove his point correct throughout that entire book and does nothing but threaten him?
If anyone challenges what she's doing, they're the jerk and not her.
Right. Like, she is just
even though
doing
he's
nothing.
Right. He's right.
He
is
right.
Dangerous and unpredictable.
And she eventually does admit that, but can never, like, go back and say that he was right. Mm-hmm. Like, she does nothing but prove that correct all throughout that book. And she's threatening him. She's making horrible comments back to him. Is that what people are talking about when they say that he's a bad person? Because she's doing the exact same thing. Like, seriously, anything that people claim to hate Chaol for, he has either never actually done in the book, or Aelin has done it much worse and more than he has. Like, for example, not telling people shit. Like, you're gonna get mad at Chaol for not telling you one fact that he learned from the king when you, Aelin, are hiding everything from literally everyone. Like, the hypocrisy.
Not to mention, Nehemia was also hiding stuff from her.
Yeah,
Was she as mad about that? No.
Not as mad because Nehemia is dead, so she can't be mad about it. If Chaol had died, everything would have been fine, I guess. But
bro, the way I'm sorry, I'm going off. The way that situation was so not Chaol's fault at all in any way.
So many layers of not being Chaol's fault.
I can't. Worst thing I've ever read in a book ever. Like, I can't believe that I had to read that with my eyes. I'm talking about Nehemia's whole death situation.
Yeah, so I just feel like chapter 55 of Tower of Dawn really tells you everything you need to know about Chaol's reasoning for everything, because it really puts into perspective how Aelin was treating him. So, like, everyone who doesn't like Chaol, go read that chapter and then come back and talk to me, because, like, I can't with people. And I hate if people say, oh, they're not going to read Tower of Dawn because they hate Chaol. Like, I don't understand. Like, I just can't. So it just annoys me so much how the fandom views him as, like, an awful character who made all these bad decisions, when, like, if you actually read the books, none of that is actually true, and it straight up seems like the characters just say things, like, later on that are not even true about how the events happened, like, previously in the series. So, like, I honestly don't know what the fuck Sarah was doing when she wrote these first 2 books, because, like, I don't know, every single thing she wrote about them, about their romance, made it seem like that was gonna be, like, important later on, or be, like, the endgame romance, and it's just, like, she just, like, took it all away. It's just, like, changed it. Yeah, just, like, I could make a whole video about how Chaol and Selena was gonna be real and like how they're actually the best ship. But like with all the parallels, all the Adarlan and Terrasen Fae Immortal parallels that she dropped in those first 2 books, I don't know how she could just ignore all of that and change her entire story, and at the detriment of people treating Chaol like shit. Yeah, so my conclusion is that I love everything Chaol does. I love how he interacts with everyone. His sarcasm, his logical reasoning for things, getting shit done. One of the only characters that is actively getting shit done throughout the entire series. It's good shit, and he's going in S because he's the best, actually. So everyone can fight me. I'm ready.
Becky's ready to fight y'all in the comments.
Yeah.
I do agree with a lot of that. I clearly don't love him as much as Becky does, but I do agree with most of that, sentiment because it's true.
All right, next up is Dorian.
Oh, Dorian. I want to like you so much, but it's gotta be like a C or like B minus maybe. I really liked him more in the beginning. The nonchalant sort of, flirtatious prince character. I liked that. Then he, shit happens in the story. He gets possessed and his kingdom gets fucked up. But then kind of from that point on, he just becomes like really angsty. Like, to the point of, like, I'm so bad, I should just die, no one wants me to live, my kingdom sucks, my kingdom is so evil, we shouldn't even rebuild it, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, I just like, don't understand his, like, character arc, I don't understand where she was trying to go with it. It didn't really make sense to me. Like, I feel like he was emo about things that were not his fault. Like, it wasn't your fault that your dad was evil, or that he was possessed by a demon. He also has this whole thing about, like, what kind of king do I want to be? And I don't even know what his conclusion was. Like, he was like, I wouldn't have killed this possessed lady. Okay. What? And then in the end...
He killed the spider lady randomly.
He killed the spider lady, he took her magic. I just don't know, like... I don't know what his personality ended up being. I don't know who he ended up being. I don't know what his character arc was.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is, like, as a character, he was more of a main character in the first couple books. Even in the second book, he, like, kind of dropped off because it was more focused on, like, Chaol and Selena's relationship. But, like, at least in those first couple books, it was, like, the 3 of them were really the core group. But then, like, as more characters get introduced, it's, like, he kind of just gets pushed to the side, and you're like, is Dorian still even here? Like, is he, like, around? Is he doing anything? Like, he's not even, like, doing anything, like, contributing to the plot in any way. Like...
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, but, like, for the person that has, like, the second most powerful magic, or maybe the most powerful magic, I don't know, I feel like he hardly ever, like, did anything noteworthy to help them, like, in the battles. Like, even when he was there, it'd be like, oh yeah, Dorian's here. Like, what... I don't know. His good point was destroying the castle. I don't know why he didn't just kill Maeve or, like, take away more 100%. Of her power. Because, like, I took away her one power.
Right, like, what are you talking about? What? Do all of it. Like, it's not helping.
So I like that he did that.
It's just such a weird thing to do, like, dropping one of your 3 main characters who should have been way more important. Like, he should have been in the thick of it all the time. It should have been him and Aelin that were Karanaming it up and, like, being, like, using their magic together and, like, fighting together and doing everything together because they were the most powerful ones. Like, I don't know why she just decided not to have him, like, involved in any of it and just have him angsting all the time. So, like, I mean, as a person, I like his personality, I guess. I like his, like you were kind of saying, like, the character trope that he is supposed to be, but I mean, as far as contributing to the actual story, he just, like, falls off. So, I mean, I would put him in, like, B because he's just kind of mid at this point because, like, he's not given the chance to do more and he is just kind of angsting a lot and being sad about Sorsha every second. All right, next is Nehemia.
Bro,
Yeah?
I don't know what to do with this character because as a person, she was lovely. But I feel like that character was just a plot device. Not even just a story. She herself consciously used her death, to motivate Aelin, because she's the savior of the world, into action to do what she needed to do. And I hate that. I hate that storyline. I hate that she willingly went to her death for this reason, for, Aelin's benefit, for Aelin's character development. I don't know why she couldn't have lived and they could have, like, fought together.
Yeah.
She's just a source of angst for Aelin, and I dislike that. Like, it's like, I don't dislike Nehemia as a person, but I feel like she barely was a person, and she was just there, again, as a plot device. And I hate that. So I want to be like, see.
In the first book, she was really great. An interesting character, like she had like the magic knowledge, she had like fighting knowledge, she was beating people up with her staff or whatever. Like I was like, she's 10 out of 10, you know? Like I probably would have put her in like A at that point. But then the whole situation of her talking to Elena or whatever and like actively, consciously, like you're saying, plotting, using her own death, even before she'd even met Aelin, she was like, yeah, I guess I have to die for this. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, and I just hate the fact that they were like trying, I mean, this is also more of like the story problem, but like in the second book, she's like talking to Dorian and being like,
oh,
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but like talking to Dorian and saying that like, oh, it could be either her or Dorian, and like Dorian has magic, he's starting to awaken it, like she's started to try to help him with that, but then it just was like, no, Aelin's the only one actually, and it's like they did not even give Dorian a chance. It gets that flashback of her with Elena, and she's like saying something like, they basically are just like, Dorian doesn't matter, like even though he's one of the options, they're just like, nah, we're just gonna only Aelin, and I have to die for it. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like the fact that she just consciously did that puts her lower. So I mean, I'd probably still put her in like B just for like as a person, although I could probably go C, honestly, because of throwing Chaol under the bus. Let's do that, actually. Yeah. Like I mean, I guess she didn't consciously throw Chaol under the bus, but the fact that Chaol got thrown under the bus because of that situation puts her lower in my graces. Okay, next is Kaltain.
B.
Yeah,
I feel like she could have been more of a character, but she kind of wasn't.
Yeah, I mean,
like good on
her.
you for sacrificing yourself.
She was an interesting character in the sense of that she got taken and turned into this thing just out of nowhere, and like the fact that she like actively fought against it and like destroyed them because of that, I feel like is good. Like I enjoyed that aspect of that story and like of her character, so I would put her like, I'd still probably put her in B just because she's you know, kind of mid, but like a more positive B, I would say, because you know, of doing that. Next is the King of Adarlan.
Golly. Dorian Senior?
Dorian Senior, yes.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, can I even say F? Because he wasn't consciously doing that. Like, he was possessed by a demon. He was, I guess, trying to fight against the demon the whole time, and he, I guess, loved his son. Again, unrelated to the character, but that whole part where his ghost came, that was whack as hell.
That was
Hated
so
that.
dumb.
Hated that. So you know what? Yeah,
that
D.
was awful.
Fuck, get out of here. Just no.
Yeah, honestly, same. Because like, obviously, yeah, the things we see him doing that are awful was because he was possessed by a demon, but it should have showed us more actively him trying to fight against it if you wanted us to feel more positively towards him. Next is Elena.
No, D. Fuck her. I don't even have a good argument, just fuck her. Fuck her involvement in the story. Fuck her, whatever she did in the past to fuck everyone up. I don't even know what it was.
Yeah, I don't
She's
know.
annoying. I don't want her ghost to be here advising people. I don't want her to be here at all. Just no.
I agree, honestly.
No.
I'm putting her in D. Yeah. I mean, again, it's like part of the whole weird conspiracy with her and Nehemia that did not need to happen, and like whatever her nonsense is. Like, yeah, just the fact that she caused all of this because of whatever she did, it's like, it's just so annoying. Like, yeah, her character is just very annoying to me. Sorry. I don't know why I put Erawan so high on this list, but he's next, so.
Well, he sucks, so I guess he's D, F, I don't know. He's evil.
Yeah, he is evil.
I guess his only good trait is that he didn't want to sleep with his brother's wife.
So true.
Weirdly honorable of him. Maybe he's not the worst. I don't know.
That's so true.
C-.
Right. I guess I'll just put him on D. Like, I'm not gonna put him lower than these other two. He could just be with them, because whatever. Next is Rowan.
See? He's so uninteresting. And two, his personality changes, like, all the time. Like, it just depends what the author felt like having him do that chapter. Like, I couldn't even describe his personality to you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what's Rowan's personality? I don't know. Like, he's kind of mean.
He's kind of a bitch.
Like,
like, all the time.
I don't know. And there was a point in time in, I don't know if it was the last book or the second to last book, where Rowan was actually, like, on top of, like, having good ideas, good plans, kind of, I don't want to say keeping Aelin in her place, because that sounds bad, but, like, kind of being, like, going against her a little bit, and I was like, hey, Rowan's actually being good here. But then he stopped doing that, and went right back to being, you know, blubbering simp boy, and it's just, again, his whole personality just changes depending on what they're doing. Like, whatever. I mean, I don't care. I don't care about him.
Rowan, I sit around and I think, like, what does Rowan ever do? Like, what did he ever contribute to this story? Like,
what do you do successfully?
Literally, his only character trait is that he's a simp for Aelin. Like, that's his consistent thing, is that he's just so obsessed with her and will just do whatever she wants. Even if he's a bitch to her, she'll love him no matter what. Because, you know, I think we all tend to forget, I mean you all tend to forget that he was mean to her at the beginning. He yelled at her,
terrible.
He insulted her, he was awful to her, but when Chaol is mean to me and calls me a monster, I get offended and I cry, because Rowan would never do that. And she said that. She said Rowan would never. And I just have to disagree, because Rowan did, actually. Like, I mean,
said some
honestly,
really mean stuff to her in the beginning. And then I feel like the part where he, like, fell in love with her was so sudden. He was just like, he saw her scars and was like, oh no, bad things happened to her. I care. What?
Right. I mean,
what?
I was okay with that as, like, a thing for them to bond over, but not necessarily like a, oh, I'm in love with her thing. More of just like, oh, we have something in common. We both have this trauma that we're suppressing. Maybe we can be friendlier because of that. Like, that's fine. Honestly, I like him more in the third book because he is more, like, mean and, like, has more of a personality, I guess. And I do agree later, I do like the moments where he does have good ideas occasionally. But again, it's more just like...
Sometimes,
there was, like, two. If he wasn't here, everything would go the same. Like, I feel like, oh, like, yeah, they're Karanum, and
he has to lend her his power.
Yeah, she links to his magic to do stuff, but, like, I feel like those moments didn't even really help that much. Like, it was like, okay, in the third book, when they first do it, like, that helped. They defeated that thing. But then when they do it in, like, the fifth one, she just, like, fucks up the whole rest of the good people in the boats or whatever, you know? She, like, did that wrong because Deanna showed up and I don't even know what was happening there.
Oh my god, that didn't help. Like, the fact I hate the god people. Fuck all of that. Fuck all of that. That's unrelated. I'm sorry, I just had to say it.
Yeah, no. But, like, the fact that they had that bond, that connection didn't help them in that moment. So I'm just like, he just, like, what's he doing? He's doing nothing.
He's here to be a hot, sexy man.
Yeah, that's it. Whatever. He's
the most powerful Fae warrior in the world, Becky.
Sure. Anyway, moving on. Next is Manon.
Manon I would put in S. And probably my only S for this series. I think Manon is the only one I can, like, truly, genuinely say is, like, a good character. And has actual, like, character development that is good and consistent and, like, interesting. Yeah, like, it's a good story. Like, her story arc, I don't love her becoming, like, queen of all the witches because of her, like, bloodline or whatever. I think I would have preferred if they were just like, you should be the one to lead us because you are, like, trying to initiate this peace between them, or, like, you're, you know, the most powerful, the most skilled, or some other kind of merit. She has a really good storyline in general. I'm sorry that it had to be in this book. I kind of wish she could have just had her own book. Did she need to be here with these people? I don't think so, but she seems kind of like the type of character that Aelin was, like, supposed to be. Like, the kind of, like, killer, like, I don't care, like, suppressing her feelings, and then she, like, was able to kind of open herself up to, like, caring about people and caring about things. Like, that could have been, like, Selena's arc of going from, like, assassin to, like, you know, accepting a leadership, but, you know, we didn't really see that for the main character. But we have this really good arc for this, like, side character. So it's a little strange to me.
Yeah, true.
But She's cool, and she has good character development and a good story. And I kind of like the witch part of things. Like, I think it's interesting. Like, they're kind of like society and like what they're doing and training the wyverns and everything like that. And like their kind of politics. I find that part like the most interesting out of like everything else that's happening in the series. So good for her. She's cool.
Yeah. I agree. I would put her in S. I'll put her in S. I don't know. She just also has like consistent personality too. I feel like where she's just like, I mean, kind of like mean,
like ruthless,
but like ruthless and like here to get shit done also, you know, and like even like the aspect of her and Dorian's relationship in that it wasn't just like, oh, we're so in love. It was like, yeah, we're just gonna bang because we're hot and because we want to bang, but then like kind of also just developing, you know, caring about this person too. But I also do like that they didn't like officially end up together in the end too, because like she was kind of like, nah, I gotta go rule the kingdom over here, so like peace out. But yeah, she's a great character. I didn't put Abraxas on the list separately, but he's also an S because he's the baby boy. Next is Asterin.
She's good, I guess. B? I don't know. She's fine. I don't know that I have strong feelings about her. I liked her. Fine.
I honestly kind of want to put her a little bit higher than these B people, but I don't know that I would go all the way to A. Okay, yeah, she's solid. A minus. Next is Maeve.
The worst, actually. And like, not even interesting. She's just like, oh my god, she's the most evil person ever. She's torturing people. She's raping her. I don't know what you call them. The men her servant people. Her servant people. No redeeming qualities whatsoever. Really. I mean,
no, truly.
She's really just evil to be evil. I feel like. And then again, it's like what was she even trying to do? She just wanted to live in that world. Why are you so evil? Like, you could have just been living in that world, you know? But I guess because she's a Vogue, Vogues are just automatically evil.
Yeah, I don't know, right? It's like, why did you have to pretend that you were this other person when you came into this world instead of just, like, living?
Like, they really could have been on the same side to just get rid of Erawan, because Maeve really just wanted to chill. Like, she wasn't trying to take over the world. She had her little kingdom, and she was chilling. But like, because she was so evil, no, we gotta get rid of her, you know? She's torturing everyone.
Well, it's also it's because she specifically didn't like Aelin because only the fire magic can defeat the Vogue, I guess. So like she didn't want her around because of that, in case she found out she was a Vogue. But if she had just chilled and not like antagonized her
eventually.
So that she wouldn't ever be able to hurt her, I think is the point. But I mean, if you had just like not interacted with her at all, she wouldn't have come and attacked you, you know? Like,
no, Maeve was like doing all this whack shit. Like, let's give Rowan a fake mate.
Right, like
so
she created that whole thing
can't
like
be
for
together?
500 years.
Like, I don't even know what is she doing? She's just being evil.
Okay, next is Aedion.
Bro, honestly, I don't know that I want to go full D. Maybe like a C minus, but he's down low. Like, and again, kind of like Dorian. Like, I liked him more at first.
Yeah, that's what I would.
But then he got so whack. Like, he's like blaming. He's taken out all his anger on Lysandra because again, Aelin made a plan and didn't tell him. Oh, it's Lysandra's fault. I'm gonna yell at her and call her a bitch. What? And she's still in love with him? Like, that was all whack. That was whack. And then again, it's not Aelin's fault. Aelin doesn't do anything wrong. So I'm just going to take it out on Lysandra because I'm upset. Even though I know it's not really her fault, but I'm going to yell at her anyway because I'm a big dumb man baby and I can't handle my feelings. Like, can you fix yourself? Fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably put him in C. Again, like, based on book 3 when he's first introduced, I really liked him in that book. Like, even on my reread, I was like, I was like vibing with Aedion during that book because I mean he's like interacting with Chaol, they're doing their rebel shit, and I feel like I was like, yeah, like this is a good vibe that we've got here. But then like, yeah, it's like once he starts interacting with Aelin, he just becomes an Aelin simp. Again, even when like he does sometimes speak out against her, it's like he wasn't actually correct and he was like, oh no, I was wrong to do that or whatever. It's like he can't stand up for his actual opinions. And then I mean, as far as the ending parts, like I do feel like his initial reaction is justified in like being like, that's whack that you guys were gonna try and trick me into doing that. Like, that's, I mean, he's right to be like upset about that, but I think he just took it too far and like reacted too harshly to her after the fact, and like all months later when she was, you know, like, did not need to be so mean to her in those moments. But I do understand the initial upset about it. But like, yeah, I would put him in C because of that, because his character, I feel like, decreased throughout, and like it was just like so up and down sometimes. Like sometimes he'd be doing something good and then it's like he's back to just simping, and it's like, what is your personality? Like, it was just
no one has
whack.
a personality. They just do whatever they feel like in that chapter.
Next is Sorsha.
C, whatever. Couldn't care less. That's what Dorian was doing. He was angsting about her the whole time.
Yeah, forever.
So again, I feel like that character did nothing except die to give him angst.
Honestly, I'd put her in B because
she's fine.
Like, she's generally fine. Like, she does nothing bad. And I do really like the ending of book 3 where she was like, I was the spy the whole time, and like she was doing whatever, like inside rebel whatever, and like trying to get shit done, and
it never, nothing ever came from it though, except her dying.
No, but she got killed. But I mean, I respect her for trying whatever she was doing. She was like, you know, doing a whole plot underground, and he didn't even know. But so, I mean, I like that aspect, so I'll put her in B because she's, you know, she tried. Okay, next is Lorcan.
Lorcan, I generally like. I would put him in A, and I think that he also has actual character development that, like, actually matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's actually well-executed character development, so good for him.
Yeah, Lorcan is one of my, like, top favorites. He's probably my, like, third favorite character. So I'm kind of like, should I put him in A or should I put him in S? Honestly, I'm putting him in S because, you know why? Because he is bitchy to Aelin, and I respect that. Like, him insulting Aelin and Rowan, peak content. I love him for his, you know, he's a clown because he's all going off about like, oh, you're in love with her? She's a human. She's not gonna, like, she's gonna die and you're gonna be alone. That's so dumb. Who would fall in love with a human? And then goes and falls in love with a human, like a fucking clown. So I love that aspect. I love, like you were saying, the character development of that, of like being such a mean, not caring about anything character, and then falling in love with Elide and like changing his personality and like being nice when he's around her. It's like what's that trope of like the guy who hates everyone except this one person? It's good shit, man. So I just love that. I feel like he has a consistent personality because he is like trying to tell them to stop being whack a lot and like, you know, arguing with them a lot. But so I don't know, I love him. He's great. S. I put him in S. Next is Gavriel.
Honestly, Gavriel's good. A.
Yeah.
What did I say about him? That was... someone was like, you know what, actually Gavriel is the best character. Because, you know what, he's just so, like, reasonable and, like, level-headed all the time when everyone else is, like, so dramatic, so angsting, so, like, overreacting to everything. Gavriel's always just like, alright, y'all, listen. This is what we're doing. You need to calm down. And he's so nice, you know? He's so nice to everyone all the time. He was, like, helping Elide back when her and Lorcan were having their little drama between them. He was, like, being nice to her. He cared about his son. Even though there was a whole, like, you abandoned me, but did he even know that he had a son until that point? I don't really know what... I don't know what the situation was, but, like, he cared about his son. He was, like, nice and, like, kind all the time. And like I said, he was just like the most reasonable, like level-headed person there in their group. Like the only person not being overdramatic. Yeah. So he's actually the best.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't really have anything else to add to that, so I'll put him in A. Next is Fenris.
B?
Yeah, I could go B, maybe A-. I don't know, he's good. Like I have nothing negative to say about him. Like he's a solid dude. He's going through it. He's suffering. I like their little relationship that they have at the end where, you know, obviously they're both captured together and like develop that bond. That's cute, I think. He's good. I'll put him in A-, you know?
Who's at A-? Or you're making it?
Asterin is there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure, whatever.
So, you know, it's, yeah. Next is Lysandra.
B. she's fine. She's there.
Yeah, I'd probably also put her in B. I feel like, you know, as a character, she's pretty good. I don't like, again, the ending part where, I keep saying the ending, it's not the ending, it's the ending of that one book, where she created that whole scheme with Aelin to secretly get Aedion to have children with her or whatever. Like, she was a part of that planning of that. I mean, I guess it was like, Aelin probably created the idea.
Secret? Like, I wasn't under the impression that they weren't gonna tell him.
But he said at some point, like, oh, you were gonna trick me into making me want to bang my cousin. Like, he said those words. Like, he was under the impression that she was gonna be Aelin tricking him into banging her as a cousin, even though he was down for that.
I don't know. I'm confused about the whole situation.
So I feel like it was like they were planning on not telling him, but again, it's like, why would you not tell him? Because you could surely still have the kids look like her if she was in her Lysandra's body, you know, like she doesn't have to be in Aelin's body.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the kids were gonna look like her because it would be
because it's
like,
Aedion.
I don't know.
Yeah. So in general, I think she's fine. She does, you know, good stuff. She's a good she contributes to the team, I think, you know.
Yeah, I would say, like, of their kind of main group, she's one of the better ones. Yeah. But that's not saying that much, so.
Yeah, I mean, she also has an interesting, like, you know, she's a shapeshifter. That's interesting. It's different. All right, next is Nesryn.
B. Kind of like Lysandra, like one of the better ones.
I genuinely like her more than most of the other ones, actually. I'd put her in A.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the only thing I dislike is her past relationship with Chaol. The fact that they had to be like, oh yeah, by the way, we used to bang. It's like, that's so unnecessary. But I mean, I really like her personality and her character in general because she's always just running around being like, this is what we're doing. Like, again, it's like the people that are actually like actively doing things that are contributing, and she's like not taking any of their nonsense. You know, she's telling it like it is, like doesn't care if she's hurting people's feelings or anything. She's just like doing what she's gonna do. And then even in the 6th one where she's just like, you know, doing the whole situation with Sartaq, goes off with him, she's just like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Like, this is how we're supposed to be getting these people on our side. I'm going. Like, bye. You know, like, I feel like I respect her. I appreciate her personality, so I would put her in A. She's good. Solid. Next is Elide.
I feel like I would put her higher. Like, I would be like, hey, but she was being so shitty in that last book, and it was so absurd. And I know they made up eventually, but it still kind of made me not like her as much. So, like, I would have to say, like, B+. Sorry.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Elide is my second favorite character. I love her a lot. And I feel like that moment that you're referring to in the 7th book, which is the moment, you know,
it's not
after,
a moment. It's a while.
It is prolonged for longer, but I feel like the moments, there's like a specific moment where, like, okay, let me just start from the beginning. I love her because when she's first introduced, she is, you know, again, she's like this very like strong, self-motivated, independent character, and she's very like clever and like knows how to like manipulate people and like understand people, and like, you know, it's kind of like watching everyone and like plotting things and like determining how she's going to act. And I feel like I really liked that as a character, like the way she interacted with Manon and with Lorcan when they first meet and all that. Like I feel like she's a very smart, intelligent character, and like using her intelligence to like get far and like do things actively and like succeed. I feel like I enjoyed that a lot. And I feel like that was very consistent through the 5th book until the 7th book, where, I mean, obviously at the end, you know, she's blaming Lorcan for, you know, Aelin getting captured, and like, I agree that she's like basically justified for that because she didn't know the truth about why he did what he did.
But even after she does know the truth, so she continues to treat him shitty.
Right, so that's the thing, is like, there's moments in the beginning of the 7th book where they're having conversations and she's, you know, understands what he did, and she has moments where she's thinking like, oh, I get it now, like, I understand why he did that, like, it makes sense, you know, whatever. And then there's moments even later on where she's like, yeah, like, I want to, like, love him again, but then there's, like, immediately, like, contradictory moments where she's just, like, being mean and, like, saying all this stuff that I'm like, I'm gonna blame Sarah for it, because I'm like, this is not how regular Elide should be reacting to this. Like, if she had been consistent from her character, that's not what she would be doing. Like, she's smarter than that. She understands better than that. You're just prolonging this drama for no reason. So I'm blaming Sarah, not Elide, because if it was really Elide, she would not have done that. So my defense is, like, that's very out of character for her, and like she would not normally have done that, and I don't appreciate that she did that, but I don't want to blame her because I feel like all her other moments are consistent, and by the time she does eventually make up with him, it's like they're back to how they used to be, and she's back to acting normal, and it's just like, why did you have to do that? So I would still put her in S because she's bae and I love her, and like I think other than that, those couple of scenes where she's like saying, and it's even like she says this stuff to him and then she goes and is like, oh, why did I say that? Like, I shouldn't have said that. And Gavriel's like, why did you say that? And it's just like, yeah, like, what are you doing? Like, this is so stupid. It's just for no reason. So she as a character is better than that, and I don't appreciate that that happened. So I respect her for everything else. Next is Arobynn.
Oh, bad. F.
F or
know.
D?
D, I guess. Is Maeve in D or is Maeve lower than D?
Maeve is an F.
Okay, he's probably not as bad as Maeve. He's just a creeper. Yeah. And he's like,
I mean, but the things that you described Maeve doing, isn't he also doing all those things?
I mean,
like
yeah.
Obviously he's like sleeping with Lysandra, but it's like, it's not really considered rape, I guess, but she's obviously not a fan of it. But I do think he is a creeper at Aelin and would have tried to bang her if circumstances were different, but I guess he didn't quite get that far. I'm sure, I mean, you know, the part where he like tries to put the ring on her and control her probably would have gotten that far if she had been able to do that. So I feel like that kind of is like, that's
so maybe he is
as
bad as Maeve.
So maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, he took in this child. Yeah, and just the way he's like physically abusive to her for sure. And her and Sam, like they both like, he would physically like beat them up and like, it's whack. It's all whack. Like I think he's kind of worse. Yeah. All right, next is Ansel, which is...
Is that random lady? C.
Yeah. Who
cares?
I'm gonna agree. Yeah, I have nothing to say. She's just there.
She is just there. She didn't do anything.
Next is Yrene.
Yrene I like. A. I would say A. I don't know. She's cool. I like her like personality. I like her I guess character development, like what she's doing, like her you know, conflict of whether to stay in the healer place and become like the head healer, or to go back to, you know, her homeland to like help in the war. Like I think she has a lot of like noble motivations, I guess I would say. And I like her relationship with Chaol, because to me, I feel like, you know, the author kind of took the aspects of both like Chaol and Selena and Rowan and Aelin, but like made them better. Like it has that kind of like enemies to lovers. They were kind of mean to each other at the beginning, but to me it was like a better development. We see them like spending time together. It has that like, I don't know, the fact that she was like healing him, like just like the situation of it, I think lended itself more to them like opening up to each other a little bit and like becoming understanding of each other. And it also had that, you know, Adarlan and not Terrason, I guess, but wherever she was from, but it was still that kind of dynamic of like, well, your people fucked up my people, so I hate everyone from Adarlan. And then she kind of learns to, you know, overcome that because she saw that Chaol was a good person. And I feel like that's kind of what we could have had there, but it wasn't. But we had it here, and I liked how it was done there.
Yeah, I love Yrene. I would put her in S because she's actually the best character. She did
save the day. Good for her.
Yeah, like she literally like is the one that kills Erawan, and like I love that, and I love that for her, and I love that she, you know, again, like you're saying, like I like her character development of going from, you know, being the healer and wanting to leave and go back, but not wanting to leave, and like not wanting to help him, but then eventually learns to help him, and learning through that how to defeat these creature things, and then just being like, yeah, let's fucking go. Like just like goes and like is the most valuable player, honestly. Like, MVP, you know, they would all be dead without her. Like, this would not, like, speaking of, like, contribution to the plot, like, they were even like, well, if Aelin dies, we still got Yrene, you know, like, she is the most important player in this final book, I feel like, for that reason. So, and I also just love her personality as far as, like, you know, she stands up for herself. She, like, stood up for herself in front of Chaol's dad and was like, you know, fuck you, buddy. Like, stop being mean to him. And, like, you know, she's just a good character overall. So I love her. I put her in S. Next is Sartaq.
B. He's good. I don't feel that strongly about him.
I like him. I love their relationship, Sartaq and Nesryn. But I feel like he doesn't do, like, a whole lot. I mean, he's nice. Like, he's nice to them. He, you know, it's cute. You know, the flirtations with her are cute. He's a good, like, ruler, I think. Like, becomes the Kagan. Wanted to go help them even if his dad wasn't gonna help them, you know? Like, I like that.
That's true, yeah. B+.
Or A-, since we already have an A-. I'll put him up there with them, sure. Next is Cairn. Who? The guy that tortures her.
What? Is that even
F, obviously.
Is that even a character? That's all he did.
The answer is F, so fuck him.
Yeah.
Next is Rolf.
Wherever Ansel is, he's the same level of, like, okay, you're here.
Yeah, true.
He's helping, I guess.
I mean, he's a little better than her, I would say, but I'd
Maybe.
still keep him at the same level. Actually, I'll make it go in B, because he's, like, I would say a little bit better because he's, like, there more
Has
and,
more
like,
of a
actively
personality.
talking to them.
Yeah.
Next is Hasar.
Oh, I don't like her.
You don't like her?
No, she's not good.
I mean, she's definitely
okay.
bitchy.
She's so bitchy, yeah. I mean, she you know, she's helping.
But obviously, yeah, like, she's a good character. Like, she's a good side. She's on their side. She's helping them eventually. But, I mean, she's just, like, being whacked to them.
She was, like, causing drama.
Yeah, like, in the whole 6th book, she's causing drama and being mean to Chaol and all that, yeah.
Trying to use, Yrene. Yrene is, like, her bestie, right? But she was just trying to use her to, like, get information.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just, like, you know, spoiled royal person. Borte?
Oh, I kind of like her.
name?
Yeah, I have no idea. Borte? I kind of like her, actually. Like, I like her personality. I don't know if she'd quite be, like, A level, because I feel like she's not there enough. But maybe, like, B, A-. I don't know. I think she's pretty... Like, she's entertaining. She has, like, a funny personality. Like, she was so gung-ho about everything. She's, like, interested in, like, the phase shit and was like, I wanna go. I wanna be in the battle. I wanna be involved. Like...
Yeah, she's good. I like her relationships with Nesryn and Sartaq, and I don't know, generally good. I'll put her in B. Next is Elide's uncle.
Bad.
So I had to throw some fuckers in here.
He's
you know,
down
we had
with the bad
some
people. He was trying to sell his niece into, like, sex slavery.
Oh my god,
or whatever. Or, like, forced pregnancy of demon creature. No. That's Maeve and Arobynn level, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely the worst. He's an F. Next is Falcon.
Bro, the way I don't care. C. I just... whatever.
C for not caring at all. I couldn't even find fan art of him.
C for not caring.
I had to use this Animorphs picture for him.
Bro, his story was kind of whack, too, because how are you Lysandra's long-lost uncle, or whatever the fuck? And he just started dropping that story, like, oh, years ago, my brother is way older than me. He had a kid, and I was a child, and then the kid's gone.
Right, like,
sure wish I could find her. What are you talking about?
It's so unnecessary.
Started info dumping that. Like, still, I don't know how rare the shifters are, like, supposed to be, that, like, they have to be related, but I don't understand why they had to be related. Like, it could have just been like, oh, hey, I found another shifter. Let me, like, you know, help her. But you know why? Because in the end of the thing, didn't he, like, give her a bunch of money or something?
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
he gave her
my long-lost niece, here, inherit my fortune. And she was like, oh my god, thank you. Like, come on!
So unnecessary.
This goddamn book, y'all.
Evangeline.
She's a child. B? I don't know. She's just a child.
Yeah, she's a child. I mean, she's cute because
that she was helping
the guy,
mean
Darrow.
old guy, Darrow.
Yeah, I didn't put him on this list.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
That was
think that's
cute.
cute. That's a cute moment. Like getting him to be nice is cute. All right, and the last one that I had to include because he's an important character, but you don't know anything about him, is Sam. Because he's like the only character that doesn't actually show up in the main series, but they talk about him all the time.
Talk about him enough.
He's important. He's a solid B, bro. He's kind of whatever. Like, he's just a guy. Yeah, they had a relationship, but again, I feel like that's very overrated. They kind of have like this, like, they hate each other, but he secretly likes her the whole time thing going on. You know, he helps her occasionally, but I feel like he also, like, once they were living together, I was like, he's kind of acting whack, and he was like going off and like doing all these fights to try to make money and like doing all this like dangerous stuff, and then he got himself killed for it, and I'm like, homie, like, I don't know, he's just like mid. I have no strong feelings. Rip to him. That's my opinion. So that is the end. There you have it. It's pretty spread out, honestly.
I feel like we didn't even disagree that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, we really didn't.
Not really. It's really just Aelin.
It's just Aelin. Like, yeah.
The best boys and girls of Throne of Glass are Chaol, Manon, Lorcan, Elide, and Yrene. Those are my faves. So fight me if you will, but you're wrong.
I hope people do fight you. I want to see you fight back. So leave your Chaol hate in the comments, please, so Becky can,
or don't, or just go reread chapter 55 of Tower of Dawn and realize that you're wrong and change, do better. Actually,
I want Becky to put on her knight armor and come to Chaol's defense.
Yeah, I will. I am the one-man Chaol defense squad.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
One.